Hello, this is my official announcement that I am now, okay, first, this is not quilt related. So if you're not interested, I understand completely and you can just move on to the next video. But I wanted to announce that I am now an official book reviewer for Christina Dodd, the author. She is one of my favorite authors, and she has been for decades. She is funny. She makes me laugh. Her books have so many twists and turns. They're paranormal, they're mystery, they're romance, they're funny. Oh, she's so funny. And she's funny in her books, and she's also funny in real life. I belong to her newsletter group, and which you can be too. And her newsletters are just hilarious. And she has a book reviewers club that you can join that is run by her husband. She calls him the husband. So I've been applying for her to be in her book reviewers club for probably a couple of years. Every time she opens it up for somebody for new people to be in her book reviewers club, I apply. Well, last week I got an email saying that I was chosen. I got an email from the husband at ChristinaDodd.com saying I was chosen to be a member of her book reviewers club. And if I wanted to be in the book reviewers club, I needed to respond to the email with my mailing address. And they were going to send me her latest book, autographed, for me to review, which I have until July 21st. I'm not sure exactly when. It's in the email. But I have a couple weeks to read the book and do a review on 2 different places and send those URLs to the husband. And as long as I do that, I will remain in the book reviewers club. Oh my God, I'm so happy because these are just some of the Christina Dodd books that I have purchased over the years. I have stacks. However, I needed more money for quilting. So I stopped buying books and I've been getting them from the library. Of course, the problem with that is a lot of times the library, who apparently doesn't think she's as good as I do, doesn't always have her books. So it's sometimes I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and I never see it. And then I see that they don't even have it or they haven't even purchased it for the library. So I'm behind on a lot of her books because it just hasn't been accessible for me. But if when I look at her list of books, I try and then request them from the library, and sometimes I get them and sometimes I don't. She just came out with a new line, a new series, which is based on what if Romeo and Juliet had a daughter, and the daughter is telling the story in the first person. And that's how she started out with her first book in this series, which I have not read because it has not been available in our library. So when I've been waiting, every time I go into the library, which is multiple times a week, I always look in the new release thing to see if there's a Christina Dodd book in there, and there hasn't been. So when I got this notice that I was going to be getting her latest book, which is number 2 in the series, I have not read number 1 yet. I went on the library's site for where you can go in there and request a copy, and I saw it. My library doesn't even have it. So I put in a request for the first book, which is coming from somewhere else in the state and is in transit, which I don't know how long that takes through these interlibrary book borrowing things. So I still have not read the first book, but I got in the mail today my book. This is her second book in this series. Oh my gosh. Thus With a Kiss I Die by Christina Dodd. And it is autographed. I have my own autographed copy of the book. So I guess I'm going to start reading this because I have a deadline and I have to do some book reviews. So I guess I'm going to be telling you whether you can read this book without having read the first book, because I haven't read the first book yet. I'm going to when the library gets it, but in the meantime, I'm going to read this one. The first book is called A Daughter of Fair Verona, and it's just great. So I'll tell you a little bit about Christina Dodd. Christina Dodd's a New York Times best-selling author whose suspense, paranoia, paranormal, historical, and mystery novels have been translated into 30 languages and sold more than 15 million copies in print. Praised for her brilliantly etched characters, polished writing, and unexpected flashes of sharp humor, which is for sure, that are pure Dodd, her award-winning books have landed on numerous best-of-the-year lists, and much to her mother's delight, Dodd was once a clue in the Los Angeles Times crossword puzzle. She lives with her family in the Pacific Northwest, where her 700 lavender plants share the yard with her husband's various big projects, including a treehouse, a zip line, and their very own Stonehenge. You can join her mailing list and to get more book news at ChristinaDodd.com. I highly recommend it. She's so funny, and she had in her newsletter with pictures her doing the zip line that her husband made for her at her house. She gets together a lot with some other authors, Jane Krentz, who writes as Amanda Quick, Kristen Hanna. She's just great. Jane, yeah, I said Amanda, so that's Jane Ann Krentz, but she gets together with a lot of authors, and she's prolific. So you're not waiting forever for the next book, because like she did the Chosen Ones series and the Dark Chosen series, and it was within like 2-year time frame. She came out with like 6 books or more. I'm not sure, but it was a lot. That wham, 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 got the next book quick. So anyway, she's funny. That's what I really like about her. But I'm really excited to read this book, which is written by Romeo and Juliet's daughter, the delightfully irreverent eldest daughter of the not-so-ill-fated Romeo and Juliet returns to sleuth another day in fair Verona in this hugely entertaining historical mystery series with a refreshingly bold premise. So, I'll be doing a review of this book. But in the meantime, I just wanted to share this happy news with you and I didn't have to buy another book or wait for the library. So now I have this one, but I do have to wait for the first one, which is in transit. All right. So thank you for watching this. If you did, because it isn't quilting, but it is my favorite author. She is my favorite author. Christina Dodd. I love you. You are wonderful. And thank you for having me in your book review club. And I will give an honest review because I'm wondering if this will stand alone. We'll see. Okay. Bye.